How we doing today? Thought I'm going to show you a little variation on one of the classics out there. This is going to be a beadhead flashback rubber leg pheasant tail, and I'm going to play with a little different material to do the rubber legs. So in the vise, in my Regal vise, I've got a size 16 TMC 3761 with a copper bead. In my bobbin, I've got an 8/0 brown thread. I'm going to go ahead and get this started. I did pre-wrap the hook with lead and push it up into the back of the bead to help hold it. Go ahead, I'm going to cut my tag end. I'm going to run my thread back down to the point opposite the barb. And we're going to grab, I'm going to grab about 6 fibers off of this pheasant tail. This is, I really like this color. This is put out by Hairline, this one, but it's a dyed brown. It just gives it a really, I really like the color. If your Baetis nymphs run a little dark, this would be a good way to go. So we're going to tie this in. A couple wraps to hold it. And I'm going to grab a strand of extra small copper wire. And I'm going to tie this in right here at the back. And then I'm going to jump my thread in front. And I'm going to build a little bit of a taper here. I'll flatten my thread up a little bit. So I'm going to build a little taper in here. Okay, now I'm going to take and wrap my pheasant tail. I'm going to run it up to about the 3/4 point. Tie this off. I'm going to leave that up there. Then I'm going to counter rib my copper wire. So the first wrap is going right into the section where I had the thread. So I'm going to counter wrap. And then we're going to bind that down. Come in here. Since this is an extra small, I'm just going to grab my scissors and snip it. Now this is also going to be a flashback. So I'm going to take a piece of Mirage tinsel, opal, bind it down, and I'm going to pull my wing case over. And I'm going to go back, not quite, I want to go at about 40% point. Okay, now I'm going to grab a couple strands of peacock herl. Okay, I'm going to trim my tips, tie this in. So we're going to take and wind this to the front. Don't go real full right to the bead. We got to have some room here to tie in the legs. So I'm going to go right about there. Now I'm going to leave the peacock tied in. because I'm going to do another wrap or two after I get the legs tied in. Now what we're going to use for legs, like I said, this is going to be rubber legs, and MFC has got sexy floss now. It's called Nano 3/0, and this stuff is fine. So it does give you a neat little look for the legs. So I'm going to grab, the way I do this is I'm going to grab one strand for this side. I'm going to fold it in half. So I've got two pieces. So I'm going to tie this in the midpoint. Get it tied in the midpoint. I'm going to set the legs where I want it. A couple more wraps. And then I'm going to pull it all back. And I'm going to pull them all four back. So now I've got those side turned, this side tied in. I'm going to go back and grab one more. And I'm going to do the same thing on the far side. But the far side, I'm going to come up underneath with a couple wraps to hold it in place. Go ahead and pull it back. And then I'm going to grab my peacock curl and go basically one more wrap around. Tie this off. And then we're going to pull over our wing case. Trim it, and then we're going to pull the flash back over. Clip that. Now we're going to throw a quick whip finish. Cut our thread off. Now again, for durability purposes, I'm going to go ahead and put a drop of resin right there on the flashback in the back of the bead. Might want to move a little bit of it around a little bit. Okay, we'll go ahead and hit it with the torch. Okay, so now I'm going to do the same thing with the Sharpie on these. It doesn't show up quite as well, but it does add a little variation in color. So I'm going to take all four, stretch them out, and then put in a little coloration on the legs. Do the same thing on the far side. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and trim the legs. Now be very careful. The first couple I tried with this, I did cut the legs short. It's easy to do. So basically what I'm going to do is try not to stretch. Come in and get them a little past the... And then I'm going to come in here. With the marker, they have a tendency to stick together until they dry. But I'm going to zoom in on this a little bit so you can see the legs. And, ooh, not very good focused. Let me do something here. Let me adjust the focus here. Okay. And there you go. One rubber leg pheasant tail. Thank you.